Welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Allison Barnett. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at the stories we have for you today. After 7 decades, one U.S. Marine finally made his way home. Private First Class William F. Cavan was killed in World War II and was among many considered missing in action. His body was accounted for on April 23rd. His remains were flown into McGee-Tyson Airport on Friday. Family members watched as the casket was placed into the hearse by fellow Marines and transported to Robinette Funeral Home in Rose Hill, Virginia. On Saturday, Cavan was laid to rest in Hancock County and given full military honors. Cavan joined the military when he was 19 years old. He died on the first day of battle on November 20th, 1943, during a battle on the island of Bedio. More than 1,000 Marines and sailors were killed during the battle and more than 2,000 were wounded. Cavan was one of nearly 79,000 Americans unaccounted for in World War II. Volunteers from Bell County spent their Saturday morning cleaning up a historic landmark in Middlesboro. Vets Serving Vets, along with volunteers from Middlesboro, dedicated their time to cleaning up the Lynch Cemetery. Volunteers cut grass and removed weeds from grave sites as a way to honor those who are buried there. Smithfield agreed to serve lunch to all the volunteers who participated in the cleanup. Officers with Vets Serving Vets said the organization cleaned up the cemetery about 5 years ago, but briars had overtaken many of the graves since that time. Here to talk more about the cleanup is Vets Serving Vets Commander Doug Bayless.
I'm the commanding officer of Vets Serving Vets in Middlesboro, and one of our members was kind of given the task of being the overseer of Lynch Cemetery, and he had asked if we as a group would organize a cleanup. And we had done that about 5 years ago out there, but it had overgrown really bad. So we went out and looked at it and decided, yeah, we're going to do this, but, you know, it's going to, take some volunteers. As far as Cumberland or Smithfield, they're one of our sponsors or supporters, and they been wanting to get involved with Vets Serving Vets on a project, and we reached out to them and they said that they would feed all the volunteers, so they come out and brought lunch, hot dogs, hamburgers, and drinks for the volunteers. It was a big briar thicket, basically. They had overgrown over at the top of the tombstones. You couldn't even see them. So we took weed eaters and went in and just got in there and cut it down. But the Lynch Cemetery, it has graves in there from like the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. So there's a lot of veterans there up through Vietnam, Korean War.
It has been 100 years since World War I came to an end. On Friday, LMU honored students and alumni that fought in that monumental struggle. A reception was held at the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum. Over 100 names of soldiers were read during the event. World War I officially ended on November 11, 1918. The event was one of many that took place during LMU's homecoming weekend. Now let's take a look at your community calendar of events coming up over the next couple of weeks. The Old Mill Inn Bed and Breakfast will be hosting a free outdoor movie and pumpkin carving event on October 26th. Free pumpkins will be available for the first 25 attendees to each movie showing. Pumpkin carving will begin at 5 and 7 p.m. and the movie showings will be 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. The film of choice will be Hocus Pocus. Inn staff will choose 3 winning pumpkins, and each of those winners will win a free one-night stay at the B&B. That was your community calendar. We're now moving on to your LMU Community TV News 5-day weather forecast. Tuesday is looking to be a cloudy day. To start your morning off, the high will be 50 with a 10% chance of rain. As the day progresses, the temperature will rise to 59 and the chance of rain will decrease to 5%. Looking at your 3-day planner, Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 62 degrees and a 10% chance of rain. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 58 and a 10% chance of rain. Moving to your 5-day, Friday will be partly cloudy with a high of 62 and a 20% chance of rain. Saturday will have a 90% chance of rain with a high of 55 degrees. That was a recap of your 5-day weather forecast, but stay with us, as coming up after the break, Brandon Burke will be bringing you your sports report right here on LMU Community TV News.
What do we know about learning? It takes place beyond the pages of a book. We learn by exploring, by trying new things, by connecting, by sharing. We learn by taking chances. and dreaming big. At Lincoln Memorial University, learning is beyond the books. It's everywhere.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. You see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. That was good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit savethefood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shields, and I'm a physician and the medical director at LMU Medical Clinics. This is a brief announcement about keeping LMU and you healthy during the upcoming flu season. Influenza, or flu for short, is a virus that causes fever, body aches, and upper respiratory symptoms like cough, runny nose, and sore throat. It is transmitted through the air and can even be spread on objects touched by someone who has the flu. The virus spreads easily from person to person and is most active from October through March. There are 3 things you can do to prevent becoming ill with the flu. First, get vaccinated. The most effective way of preventing the flu is to get the flu vaccine every year. The vaccine does not give you the flu or make you sick. The vaccine may not be 100% effective, however, it does offer significant protection and lessen the symptoms should you get the flu. The CDC recommends everyone 6 months and older be vaccinated before the flu season begins. Number 2, wash your hands. Stop the spread of germs and protect yourself with frequent hand washing with soap or alcohol-based hand sanitizer. And third, if you are sick, stay home. Should you become ill with flu-like symptoms of fever, sore throat, cough, limit your contact with others. Schedule an appointment as soon as possible with LMU Medical Clinic or your healthcare provider. There are antivirals that may be indicated if started within 48 hours of symptoms. Stay home until you are fever-free for 24 hours without over-the-counter medications like Motrin or Tylenol. I'm Dr. Shields, and this has been a brief announcement about keeping LMU and you healthy during the upcoming flu season.
Welcome back. Needing to take care of business on the road in a 2-day South Atlantic Conference trek to the state of North Carolina, the Lincoln Memorial women's volleyball team did just that against the Queens Royals and the Catawba Indians, combining to win 6 of their 7 total sets on Friday and Saturday to push their winning streak to 3 overall. 3 days after collecting a clutch 4-set victory over the Carson Newman Eagles in Harrogate, the Lady Rail Splitters traveled to Charlotte on Friday night to meet the Royals, gaining their 2nd straight win over the defending SAC tournament champions 3-1. Dominating Queens early on for a 25-16 opening set W, Lincoln Memorial's only blemish came in set number 2, a 25-14 setback there. LMU regained their composure over the final 2 frames, however, notching 25-15 and 25-20 wins against the Royals, led by a handful of heroic performances to account for the 2nd road victory of 2018. Junior outside hitter Lindsey Nartker posted 15 kills on a career high 24 digs for the Blue and Gray on Friday. Tone Gill not too far behind with 11 kills on a powerful 6 blocks. Redshirt junior Riley Storms, named the AstroTurf Conference Player of the Week on Monday, secured 9 kills along with 10 digs, while freshman Emily Walter landed another double-double on 38 assists and 13 digs. Erica Whitaker, who alongside Storms was recognized on the AstroTurf SAC Weekly Honors as the Specialist of the Week, racked up 39 digs on a career high 8 assists and a match-high 3 aces. And after the Lady Rail Splitters rolled to 55 total kills on a .243 attack percentage to start the weekend, a visit to Catawba the next afternoon improved upon those numbers even further. LMU completing the season sweep over the Indians with a straight sets triumph. Launching 47 kills on a .297 hitting clip, the second highest of the entire season, Lincoln Memorial withstood a tough opening set from the Indians on a 27-25 win, cruising across the final two stanzas 25-15 and 25-19. 3 players crossed the double-digit kill tally for LMU in the one-sided win. Riley Storms with 13, Kai Wiesman with a career-best tying 11, and Lindsey Nartker with 10. Add in 37 more assists from Walter and 17 more digs from Whitaker, and the Lady Rail Splitters move to 12-6 as a whole and 8-4 in league contests, now tied with Mars Hill for 3rd place in the latest SAC standings. There won't be much time to celebrate the terrific weekend performance as LMU hits the court again this Tuesday evening in Greenville for an in-state rivalry matchup, taking on the Pioneers of Tusculum at 7 p.m. Having already swept TU in their first meeting back in early September, Lincoln Memorial hopes for a 4th consecutive conference victory on Tuesday and a hopeful further upward climb in the league rankings. And it was a similar jubilant Saturday for the LMU women's soccer squad, also on the road and also in North Carolina, meeting up with the Bears of Lenoir-Rhyne, searching for a 3rd straight win off the heels of a pulse-pounding double overtime win against Wingate the weekend prior. Lincoln Memorial accomplished that mission against LR, outlasting the Bears in South Atlantic Conference play 2-1, jumping to 5th in the league standings in the process. There were plenty of noteworthy performances on Saturday for the visitors, who, despite getting outgained in the shot department by the Bears 14-12 on 9-7 on goal, but still came away with the clutch victory anchored by a superb defensive effort. Junior goalkeeper Anne-Marie O'Connell did see her streak of 2 consecutive shutouts come to an end, although the Victorville, California native didn't let that phase her, making a career-high 8 saves to preserve the victory, while Jessica Crivero and Caroline Souza did their part on the other side of the field to give LMU the W. Both Lady Rail Splitter goals came off of an assist from Itzel Ballesteros, who pushed her season total to 8, the most by an LMU player in a single season since Sarah Taylor's 11 in 2010. Another record-setting play came in the 22nd minute on Saturday with Crivero's score to put her team up 1-0, the freshman forward's 10th strike of the year, the first Lady Rail Splitter to meet the 10-goal milestone in this decade. Becky Thompson, the last to do so in 2009. After the Bears evened things up at 1-1 in the 31st minute for a tied halftime score, Ballesteros then found Souza in minute number 59 in what turned out to be the game winner, the number 2 goal of 2018 for the senior, and the score that pushed LMU to an 8-3 overall record, along with a 4-2 SAC resume. Beginning to make some noise in the conference with another momentum-sustaining victory, Lincoln Memorial returns home this Wednesday for another league battle, an in-state contest, in fact, hosting Tusculum for a 1 p.m. first touch. As part 1 of a SAC doubleheader, the LMU Sports Network will be covering the action through www.lmurailsplitters.com. And as the Lady Rail Splitters rallied to their 3rd straight win over LR on Saturday, the LMU men's soccer squad wrestled with the Bears later that afternoon, and what once looked like a sure victory over the top dog in the conference turned into disaster in the final moments, Lenoir-Rhyne seemingly coming back from the dead to steal a 3-2 win in Hickory. Lincoln Memorial did almost everything right against the Bears, more than well enough to exit the state with a 4th straight W, although the hometown club stunned the Rail Splitters with back-to-back goals with under 5 minutes remaining when trailing by 1, negating all of LMU's work that put them in a position to win. Outshooting the Bears 14-10 and edging their league foe 10-5 in shot-on-goal opportunities, Lincoln Memorial secured enough breaks in regulation to stay out in front after trailing early, only to collapse as the game came to an end. Lenoir-Rhyne found the back of the net first on Saturday in the 36th minute, and after riding that 1-0 lead into intermission, the Rail Splitters responded with a bang, senior Victor Perez landing his 8th goal of the year in the 62nd minute, tacked on in the 81st minute by Mateo Buffalo, his 3rd score of 2018, none bigger than there. Unfortunately for the blue and gray, that's when the SAC leaders began their furious late comeback, sliding Lincoln Memorial down to 6-3 and 2 overall, now at 3-2 and 1 in conference competition, denied their 4th win in a row in shocking fashion. In the penultimate home battle of the season this Wednesday afternoon, LMU will look to right their wrongs over the weekend by taking on the Pioneers of Tusculum, seeing the opening kickoff at approximately 3:30 p.m. once the ladies matchup beforehand has seen its conclusion. Once again, the LMU Sports Network will have full coverage of the in-state SAC affair, and you can visit LMURailsplitters.com to catch the action or catch up on all things Lincoln Memorial athletics related across the fall semester. Week 9 of the 2018 high school football season in the tri-state area got underway this past Friday, and as teams around Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia hope to collect momentum with the playoffs just around the corner, let's take a look at all the final scores under the lights from another busy night. Beginning with the Volunteer State, ahead of this week's Battle of the River between the Cumberland Gap Panthers and the Claiborne Bulldogs, CG picked up their second win in a row, while their rivals slumped to 1-7. The Gap getting the better of Cosby 34-0 for win number 5 on the year, and the Bulldogs falling to Chucky Doak on the road 23-12, CHS's 5th straight loss. The Cougars of Campbell County knew it was going to be a tough test going in, and the Fulton Falcons delivered on that promise in Knoxville, a 56-0 shellacking over CC, dropping the Cougars back down to 500 at 4-4. The red-hot Granger Grizzlies kept it that way against Sullivan Central on their home field, continuing their midseason resurgence with a 4th straight victory, the 5th in total, by the score of 48-20. The Jellicoe Blue Devils weren't as successful on Friday, however, stopping their 3-game shutout streak, but still coming up on the losing end once all was said and done, dropping a 54-12 decision to Cloudland, now at 1-7 overall. In the second-to-last game of the season for the Hancock County Indians, their misfortunes continued on the road against Unaka, the Rangers holding a 38-18 final over HC to drop the Indians to 3-6 in total, and the Union County Patriots took the week off for their bye, currently at 4-3 thanks to 2 straight losses in their last 2 tries. Moving on to the Bluegrass State, in a heavyweight fight between the Bell County Bobcats and the Corbin Redhounds, the latter prevailed at home, handing BC their first loss of the year by a 33-14 margin, now at 7-1. While both the Middlesboro Yellow Jackets and the Pineville Mountain Lions saw separate losing streaks continue, MHS losing their 6th in a row to Danville 48-6, and PHS seeing their once promising season turn south with a 4th straight loss to Williamsburg 48-12. And lastly, in the Commonwealth State, the Thomas Walker Pioneers rolled to their 3rd win in a row against Twin Valley, moving to 6-2 thanks to a 34-12 decision against the Panthers, and the Generals of Lehigh couldn't get back on the right track against Gate City, losing a heartbreaker to the Blue Devils 23-20 in Jonesville, LHS's 3rd loss in as many tries. LMU Sports Network will continue the ongoing saga that is the high school football campaign this Wednesday, previewing Week 10 matchups around the region. And now that we've surpassed the halfway point of the 2018 NCAA football season, some interesting developments have occurred in the Southeastern Conference as the Kentucky Wildcats took the week off as part of their bye, and the Tennessee Volunteers pulled off the signature win that first-year head coach Jeremy Pruitt was searching for. While UK rested at 5-1, now ranked 14th heading into Week 8, the Vols were coming out of their bye week, although faced with another daunting task in the form of 21st-ranked Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium, a string of 3 ranked opponents in a row across UT's absurd schedule. For Tennessee, the Tigers' imposing defense and hostile environment didn't faze the Big Orange one bit, locking down a season-altering 30-24 triumph against Auburn, ending the Volunteers' 11-game conference losing slide, their first win over an SEC West team since 2010. Knocking off the Tigers for the first time since 1999, as UT had previously lost the last 6 in the series, the Vols were carried to victory by a gutsy performance from quarterback Jarrett Garantano, passing for a career-high 328 yards, a 65% completion rate, a 93 quarterback rating, and 2 touchdowns through the air. Trailing 17-13 after 2 quarters, Tennessee unleashed a 20-point unanswered run to open the second half, highlighted by a game-changing 8-yard scoop and score moments after a sack. And with a seismic upset win for Coach Pruitt and the Vols, UT improves to 3-3 overall and 1-2 in SEC contest. Of course, it won't get any easier for Tennessee this weekend, returning home facing number 1 Alabama in the 3rd Saturday of October, while Kentucky returns to the field to take on the Commodores of Vanderbilt. And in one of the more intense races of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series, resulted in an unlikely finish once again from the always unpredictable playoff, as once the checkered flag waved at the Talladega Superspeedway in the 1000bulbs.com 500, Eric Almirola's number 10 vehicle was ahead of the pack, landing first place in one of the most famous tracks in the country, now catapulted to first in the chase standings as well. Clint Boyer and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were the two closest competitors behind Almirola at Talladega, with Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano right beside each other as they were in the previous race at Dover, finishing the top 5. Chase Elliott, the winner of said Dover race for the Gander Outdoors 400, has now slid down to second following Almirola's victory, with Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Logano closing out the top 5 in the Cup standings. Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney stand as drivers 6 through 10, with only 5 more races left on the 2018 radar as the Monster Energy Cup Series playoff moves to the Midwest next weekend, October 21st to be exact, kicking off the Hollywood Casino 400 held at the Kansas Speedway. And that is all for sports over the weekend, but stay tuned as more LMU Community TV news is up next right after this.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't have
I really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have another
at
bad day at
school
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, we're getting so wet.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
One in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Thanks for watching LMU Community TV News. I'm Allison Barnett, and have a great evening.